Tonight, the shocking invasion of privacy targeting the Prime Minister's personal banking records. Who is accused of illegally accessing Mark Carney's information? And what Canada's biggest bank is saying tonight. What led to this violent confrontation on a Canadian campus and the student walkout?
Today we are here to focus on and be in solidarity with the student that was brutalized.
And a whole new ball game. The high-tech change-up to Major League Baseball.
The last thing you want is games ended because of a bad call.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening. We begin tonight with a major banking breach at Canada's largest bank, and the former RBC employee now facing criminal charges for allegedly accessing the Prime Minister's personal information. CTV's Abigail Beeman leads us off with what we know about the man and the charges.
Your bank records. What did the RBC say about your bank records?
The Prime Minister smiling but not sharing how or why a 23-year-old working for RBC allegedly accessed his personal data. It all started in July with a tip-off complaint from RBC to the Mounties. RCMP charged Ibrahim El Hakim with fraud over $5,000, unauthorized use of computer, identity theft, and trafficking in identity information. RCMP won't say if they believe he's linked to organized crime.
This is the Prime Minister's financial information. And what I gather from this is that this is clearly information that could be potentially leveraged by what we call a threat actor.
The case is being handled by the RCMP's Integrated National Security Enforcement Team, but they note there is no threat to the Prime Minister's safety or national security. For its part, RBC says it independently identified unauthorized system access, took immediate action to engage authorities, and El Hakim is no longer employed at the bank. The bank didn't answer CTV News questions about whether high-profile client accounts are given more protection than average Canadians.
It applies to all Canadians, so it just reminds everyone that, privacy and having system to prevent, fraudulent access to anyone's file is something that we should all be concerned about.
I'm not aware of those details, actually. Yeah, but that would worry me. Yeah.
The suspect has another court appearance here in Ottawa next week. The RCMP say more charges may still be coming. Omar?
All right, Abigail, thank you. Rescue crews are doubling their search area for a young boy who went missing in southwestern Alberta.
We very much still believe him to be alive and are not letting up the search efforts as a result of that.
More than 100 search and rescue workers spent a fourth day combing through dense brush and steep terrain to find Darius McDougall. The 5-year-old was hiking with his siblings in the Crow's Nest Pass on Sunday when he became separated. Darius has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to others. Supporters of a BC ostrich farm celebrated the Supreme Court of Canada's temporary decision to pause the cull of 400 ostriches, the latest twist in an emotionally charged and long legal battle over the fate of the flock after an outbreak of avian flu. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says it will comply, but still will maintain its ongoing presence at the farm during court proceedings. The stay follows what the RCMP is calling a suspicious fire early this morning involving hay bale enclosures built by the CFIA yesterday in preparation for the cull. Dramatic and deadly moments in Dallas today after a shooter opened fire at an Immigration and Customs Enforcement field office in what is being described as an act of targeted violence. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malvin on what we know about the victims and the suspect.
There's a snapper on the roof.
A massive police response at an immigration ICE facility in Dallas. One detainee has died and 2 others critically injured after a suspected sniper on a rooftop opened fire where detainees were boarding an unmarked van. You could see the bullet holes in a window. No ICE agents were hurt. Authorities have identified the shooter as 29-year-old Joshua John, seen here in a booking photo from a 2016 marijuana conviction. detention. Police say he killed himself. The FBI calls the attack an act of targeted violence, posting this photo of shell casings found near the scene containing a disturbing message.
Early evidence that we've seen from rounds that were found near the suspected shooter contain messages that are anti-ICE in nature.
This attack follows a string of violence and protests at ICE facilities, angry over President Donald Trump's aggressive crackdown on undocumented immigrants. And it comes as political violence is on the rise.
There's some evidence that we have that's not yet public, but we know this person was politically motivated.
From the killing of conservative activist Charlie Kirk to the murder of a Minnesota Democrat, lawmakers condemning the political hate that's tearing America apart.
This must stop. To every politician who is using rhetoric demonizing ICE and demonizing CBP, stop. This has very real consequences.
Once again, President Donald Trump is blaming what he calls radical left Democrats for the violence as officials beef up security at ICE facilities across the country. Omar?
Joy Melvin in Washington tonight. Thank you. Turning now to Jimmy Kimmel's return to late night yesterday. Tonight, ABC saying it was his highest rated episode in more than a decade, despite not airing in 23% of U.S. TV households because the owners of two major ABC affiliates chose not to run it. After a standing ovation that lasted close to a minute, here's how he started after nearly a week off the air.
Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted.
The late-night host also became emotional when discussing his comments about the political response to the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. It's those comments that sparked his suspension and a debate about free speech across the United States.
It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it.
Kimmel went on to criticize the chair of the U.S. broadcast regulator and Donald Trump.
The President of the United States made it very clear he wants to see me and the hundreds of people who work here fired from our jobs. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke.
Trump slamming the return, writing that the White House was told by ABC that his show is canceled. Kimmel's show already getting more than 26 million views on YouTube and social media. Canadian singer Sarah McLachlan was Kimmel's musical guest. Over the weekend and in support of free speech, she refused to perform at the premiere of a documentary for Disney, which owns ABC. Students at an Ontario campus staged a walkout today in response to troubling social media video. CTV's Heather Wright on what it shows and the reaction.
At around 1:30 this afternoon, students walked out of Toronto Metropolitan University.
Today we are here to focus on and be in solidarity with the student that was brutalized here on campus.
The student is the woman seen in this video, which shows a security guard trying to detain her. They lift her up and force her to the ground. It was taken last week during an event with Minister of Artificial Intelligence Evan Solomon. The video was blurred before it was shared with CTV News, and it's unclear what happened before it begins, though the school says several individuals were being disruptive and were asked to leave the event.
In a statement, the university says the third-party security officers have been reassigned and won't be on campus as the school works to confirm what happened last week.
The video is unsettling and difficult to watch, and it understandably has raised questions and concerns from our community, the statement reads.
We will not be pushed aside.
Demonstrators are calling on the two guards to be fired, among other demands, including that the school disclose and divest from any investments tied to Israel. While many attending the rally hid their faces and didn't want to speak on camera, Ayla Goodrow says it was important to be here.
Just seeing the number of people here today, it gives hope.
Several Jewish students also came to today's rally, and while they're supportive of free speech, they say some of the language used is harmful.
Other people have committed violent acts using the same slogans as them, and so just be considerate about everybody.
The school says its review into the incident is ongoing and it will take further action if necessary. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Activists in a flotilla of small boats trying to break the Israeli blockade and deliver aid to Gaza say their vessels were attacked by drones overnight. They were sailing in international waters south of Greece when they say they were struck by unidentified drones and their communications were jammed. The group reported at least 13 explosions. No one was hurt, but several boats were damaged. Israel has said it won't allow the vessels to reach Gaza and has not commented on the alleged attack. Ukraine's president is welcoming the sudden shift by the U.S. president and called on allies of the United Nations today to step up support to stop further Russian aggression. CTV's Judy Trin on Volodymyr Zelensky's warning.
We are now living through the most destructive arms race in human history.
Even as Ukraine's president warned about the escalating dangers of unchecked AI-controlled drones, Volodymyr Zelensky said the less advanced version of the weapons was enabling his country to hold back Moscow's might.
Ukraine doesn't have the big fat missiles dictators love to show off in parades, but we do have drones that can fly up to 2,000-3,000 kilometers.
Zelensky cited success in destroying Russian assets in the Black Sea and key infrastructure. His comments come as the American president takes a harsher tone toward the Kremlin. In the past week, Russian drones and fighter jets have flown into the airspace of Poland and Estonia, NATO members.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
After Tuesday's face-to-face, Donald Trump made a remarkable U-turn. He posted on social media that after getting to understand the Ukraine-Russia military economic situation, he now believes Ukraine can win back all of its territory. Previously, Trump had said ending the war would require Ukraine giving up territory it had lost. The Prime Minister said that Vladimir Putin had proven he could not be trusted.
The president, however, has made very sincere and multiple efforts to try to establish peace. He has used his relationship, longstanding relationship with President Putin in those efforts to try to establish peace. And Putin has failed on every occasion, every opportunity.
At the UN, Trump called for secondary sanctions or tariffs to be put on countries that buy oil and gas from Russia. Prime Minister Carney said G7 finance ministers are discussing what economic measures to implement to put more pressure on Putin to end the war. Judy Trin, CTV News, New York.
Nearly 2 million people have been evacuated from their homes in China as Typhoon Beryl slammed into the south coast of the country and battered Hong Kong. This video shows water smashing through the glass doors and flooding the lobby of a Hong Kong hotel as the massive storm made landfall, causing severe floods, knocking out power and lashing heavily populated areas with destructive winds. Regasa is the strongest storm the world has seen so far this year, but has been downgraded from a super to a severe typhoon after tearing through the Philippines and Taiwan. And in Taiwan, at least 17 people are dead and more are missing after heavy storm rains caused a lake to overflow. And not weather-related, but shocking scenes in Thailand as a massive sinkhole swallowed cars and brought down power lines in Bangkok. Luckily, no one was injured. Officials believe construction at an underground parking lot may be to blame. And back here at home, people are struggling to get access to the basics of life in a small town in Newfoundland and Labrador. Water levels have reached record lows as extreme drought hits hard across Atlantic Canada. Here's CTV's Garrett Barry.
Here's a sign of what Agriculture Canada calls the extreme drought conditions that are plaguing Atlantic Canada. In the town of Torbay, levels at North Pond are the lowest in living memory.
I was talking to residents this morning, a senior resident, and they said this is the lowest they've seen it since early 60s.
Even as the calendar flips to fall, rain just isn't coming in this area. Only about 24 millimeters all month, and that all means a daily struggle to keep the taps flowing.
Could stand here in the rain all day if I thought that this was going to help. We need rain now, I'd say, we need weeks.
About 1/3 of this community is connected to North Pond. Houses on wells aren't doing much better. Levels at this water supply are getting so low, regular markers have become useless, and new ones need to be installed.
That blue one that would show where the top of the water level would normally be. So it's down a lot. If I was stood down there on them rocks, I'd be under the water.
Mayor Craig Scott says town staff are fighting to keep a state of emergency away. He's been pleading with residents this week to cut back any non-essential use. Things like washing your car or watering your lawn are prohibited. Town staff are also looking at some engineering solutions to buy more time, if not more water.
Part of our water treatment project for this pond in particular, we are looking at extending the pipe permanently out into the deeper section of the pond. We've got our consultant working on some options.
Some of those infrastructure changes are months, if not years away, so town officials now can only hope for rain and hope that local residents take their warnings seriously. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Coming up.
I really didn't think I was going to survive this long.
How a tiny home made a big difference in this woman's life. Plus, what happened to the armed mob that raided this jewelry store. Frightening scenes captured by security cameras in California's Bay Area, where a mob of nearly 24 suspects stormed and ransacked a jewelry store. The Brazen daytime heist robbed this store of an estimated $1 million US worth of goods. The group was armed with at least 3 guns, crowbars, and pickaxes, smashing and grabbing whatever they could, and fleeing the scene in 6 getaway vehicles that were standing by. Police say 7 of the suspects have been arrested. A tiny home community in New Brunswick is making a giant impact on people's lives, taking them off the streets, out of poverty, and giving them a second chance. Here's CTV's Sarah Plowman.
The homes are tiny, but the hope each offers is huge.
I really didn't think I was going to survive this long. My name's Petra. I'm one of the entrepreneurs here.
Once homeless and feeling hopeless, Petra Haynes now has both and a business.
These are the pillows I have.
She lives here and sells her crafts at a shop steps away where people who were once unhoused are now blossoming entrepreneurs. She just sold a sticker.
It's definitely really helped me.
So this is my art. The money, skills, and confidence they earn replaces self-doubt.
Being able to actually have this like a thing and it's really happening, it's mind-blowing.
Marcel Lebrun is the mastermind behind the community, the cafe next door where some work, and this program. He believes purpose is key to unlocking potential.
To see somebody go from unhoused to housed, obviously people think, well, that's great, they're safe and they're warm, but from going to have a sense of purpose is the most transformative thing by far.
So when the carpenters are finished, I go hunting.
Susan Hayward creates art like these miniature tiny homes from scraps left over from home builds. Her days are more meaningful.
I want to be happy every day, and this is bringing me happiness.
These businesses really are being built on self-belief. They're investing in themselves because somebody else invested in them. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
So great to see. Still ahead.
Are you kidding me?
How much this piece of skateboarding history sold for at auction. The skateboard from one of the most legendary moments in the history of the sport has set another record.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, look at this! Tony Hawk!
Tony Hawk's board from his landmark 900 trick has sold at auction for $1.15 million US, a record for a piece of skateboarding memorabilia. The American was the first skater to land the move during the 1999 X Games. The proceeds go to Hawk's charity that builds public skate parks in underserved areas.
Here's David Fry, 0 for 2 on the night. He squares, he tried to bunt, and it hit the bat and then hit him in the face.
And scary moments on the field for Cleveland Guardians hitter David Fry, who suffered a broken nose and facial fractures after he took a 99-mile-per-hour fastball in the face last night. He's expected to be out for 6 weeks. And still ahead, more baseball and the new tool fans are talking about. The controversial new technology that's bringing big changes. As we told you last night, there's a major change coming to Major League Baseball next season. A new pitch to change the way the game is called. CTV's Adrian Gabriel has the reaction tonight to the new high-tech challenge system.
But it's a strike, and again, not reviewable. Oh, boy. And then that call goes against them.
In baseball, it's an argument as old as the game itself.
Uh-oh. He should not have picked up the dirt.
Strikes called balls.
Wow, Ollie's got to hold him back.
Balls called strikes.
That ball a good 3 inches off the outside corner.
Sometimes leading to close quarter disagreements.
They are yelling at each other like this close, like face to face. The really immature managers are kicking dirt on the ump.
And Billy is not going to go quietly.
They've been sort of like Supreme Court justices. There has been no higher court.
That will change as of next season. Major League Baseball confirming that each team will get at least 2 chances to challenge a ball or a strike in the event of human error, using an automated ball strike system known as ABS.
This is a very good day for baseball fans, because the last thing you want is games ended because of a bad call.
ABS technology is also being used in tennis and football. The league says it will take no more than 15 seconds for a challenged pitch to be decided. The commissioner of Major League Baseball saying the move will preserve the integral role of the umpire in the game with the ability to correct a missed call in a high-leverage situation. Some MLB players voted against the new rule, but a committee made up of owners and big leaguers pushed the progressive plan across home plate following years of discussion.
Baseball's been going on since before the First World War, and now they're finally doing this.
The new rule is expected to keep things more amicable here on the field. This year, 60% of all ejections of players and coaches in the majors stemmed from arguments over balls and strikes. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
And that's a snapshot of this Wednesday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching. Good night, and see you tomorrow.
CTV National News, Canada's #1 newscast.